Well, here we are again. It's a beautiful day. We're going to do another work day. Grace is going to help us out in the garden. So stay tuned. I'm standing in the area that we hope to be a garden. Last year we threw some things together and tried to get a few things growing. Didn't have a lot of luck. So we did some soil testing this year. And this hard yellow clay is not only really packed, it's about 5.5 on the pH scale. And according to the test, it's completely depleted in nitrogen. So last year we made some rows here with some old sawdust, horse manure, and some topsoil. And when we rented a tiller this year to try to till up the rest of it, it is not strong enough to get through this clay. It is super hard, which is great for the pond, not so great for a garden. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of up in the soil. We're gonna bring forth some more manure. I've got some lime behind me to bring that pH up a little bit. And we're gonna go back to building rows again and trying to plant in there so we can control the soil in those rows. And after a couple of years, this garden should be really fertile, but it's gonna take some work. All right, we're back here in the old manure piles. We started building this up last year because this is a big runoff area for water to go into this trench and go down into the woods. So being as such, it kept this pile nice and moist. Plenty of oxygen out here, allowed it to compost. Also, it was big when we built it, and when things compost, it falls down, it compacts down about 50% of what it was. And so now we have older manure back here, and if we dig down inside of it, and look, you'll see shavings from the stall and whatnot, but it doesn't smell like horse manure. It actually starts smelling like dirt as opposed to manure. So it's not nearly as fresh as the other stuff. We don't generally want to put fresh manure on the gardens. We want to put stuff that's older. And so this has been out pretty much last fall, I guess. It was when last summer we started it, and then fall and winter it's been composting. So we'll see if it works. Danielle left me back here to fill. Just a real quick thing. This little trailer we have was just a steel flat trailer. I had to build these walls, so I went to the scrap pile last week, and in about an hour I threw together these little walls to hold the soil in there. And here she comes now with Grace. We're gonna hook this up and take it up to the garden.
So as we're sitting here with Sean unloading into the garden, you can see back there, just thought I'd give you kind of an idea of how I'm working with Grace, working on the mental state here. You can see she's kind of fidgety up here. She's doing better, but she's still, her legs are fidgety. She's kind of wanting to paw a little bit. And really, that's to be expected. She's not had much work at all through the winter. We still don't have a great turnout for her, so her exercise is not nearly what I hope it will be in the near future. But that being said, when you hitch them up like this and you try to do some hard work that requires precision, it can get a little frustrating if you let it when they're dancing around and they're not wanting to stand still or listen really well. You need a relaxed horse that's not real anxious to do a really good job. But we got to start somewhere. Now, a lot of people cheat their way through. I do the same thing. So you take a horse like this, you hitch them to a good, solid, seasoned horse, and Grace, step up. Whoa, good girl. So you hitch them to that solid horse and they just kind of follow the leader. But in this case, we don't have another one. So we've got work to do. We've got a horse that knows how to pull. She's just not fine-tuned and working single at hard work. Never done it really. So although she's got a lot of experience behind her working with teams, I'm basically treating her like a young green horse, and we're just reviewing all her basics. Grace, step up. Whoa, good girl. So we're just kind of reviewing her basics, and she's getting a lot of practice with her commands, with standing patiently, which is her biggest weakness. When she starts to misbehave, she learns it's not going to get her anywhere. She's still got to go just stand there and wait. So we're just going to keep working through this, and as the season goes on and she gets more practice, she's just going to get better with time. She'll be a nice solid horse, I have no doubts. So Sean emptied all the soil out of the wagon, and now he's picking up a trash pile that's in our way, and we're going to take it over to a pile we have for burn. Now, some of you may think, you know, you could use that. We actually did, and that's why that pile is there. It's the remnants. We were kind of layering last year. We layered each of these rows of garden soil with this debris. It's just a mixture of vines and bark and sticks and stuff. So I can't even pronounce the word, hugelkultur. We kind of built a form of that under each of these garden rows. But this wound up being a bunch of leftover stuff. It was going to be too big for us to rake or till or do anything we knew we'd have to do in the future. So we're going to just haul this over to a burn pile, get it out of our way so we can expand the garden row itself.
So digging down in this compost, I keep running into these guys. Okay, these are good. These nice big night crawlers here. Unfortunately, I cut him in half with this shovel, but I'm finding quite a bit of those night crawlers, and that's good because that means they've been living in here a while, getting fat. There's another guy up there. He's trying to get away from me, and he can't. There he is. But that's what you want to see right there.
So we just unloaded a pile, and I've decided to take Grace for another one of those kind of decompressing walks that we talked about in the logging video. You know, these little strolls in between the rounds we do of work serve several purposes that are very useful. First of all, you know, kind of like when we're stressed, sometimes we just need to get out and go for a walk, and it burns off some little pent up energy or frustration. It helps the horse in that way. At the same time, it allows them to decompress because they're able to just walk in a relaxed state. You know, you can see here how I'm not applying really tight lines, and she's just walking along with me leaving her alone. So that's very good for a horse's mental state, to just give them that break, but at the same time they're able to move. And you know, in her case, she's got that pin-up energy, she wants to move, so it kind of deals with both of those issues. In addition, you can hear the banging going on behind me. I've got this trailer attached, so we get to do a little desensitizing, so there's a bonus. And finally, one of the great things that I personally enjoy about these is anybody who has ever dealt with a barn sour horse knows that as soon as you turn and head home, the horse wants to speed up. And sometimes it can become actually dangerous if you allow them to get away with that habit. So one of the advantages of regularly working your horse, whether it be riding or driving, we're going to turn around here, whether you're riding or driving, the horse, when they go on these periodic walks in between your working sessions, they kind of learn that heading home doesn't mean they're just going back to their stall. It keeps it unpredictable, and that's always a good thing. If they never know what to expect, they're not going to be in quite as big of a rush to get home, because it may just mean they're going to go back to work again and have to work really hard. So it keeps the horses slow and easy, and they basically get to where they walk at the same pace leaving the house as they do returning home.
Got 2 loads down. We're looking on the 3rd load now. Grace is getting a little bit more relaxed. She's figuring out what we're doing, which is nice because less commands and more just operating by memory now. Rosa and Kyla helping out as always.
All right, so today you can see I've put her back in the stall. We're done with the first session, and Sean actually needs a break because he's doing all the really hard manual labor involved in this task. So he's gone in, and we're going to go eat lunch. We're also going to give Grace a nice lunch break. So you can see today I'm not unharnessing her. All I did was take off her bridle and her lines. And I've got her safely tied here so she can get water. She's got all she can eat hay, and she just gets to have her own lunch break. But she's tied because I don't want to risk her getting hung up. I don't want to risk her going out and rolling in harness and getting caught up in something. So this will allow her a break. Frankly, she can even lay down if she wants to, but she can't get her head low enough to get a hoof over the rope or anything like that. So she'll be safe for her lunch, and then after we're done with lunch, Sean gets a rest. We'll come back out and try to finish the job.
So we moved several tons of compost from the back up to here, and then we applied lime, and then we tried to till it all together. But we still have some inconsistencies in the garden. We didn't get past here with some of the compost, and this lighter stuff is from the sawdust that we used last year. But this has a lot of good organic material, compost. We grew in that last year, so it's got some energy in it. So I think we'll do a lot better this year and then hopefully improve on the following years. Whew. Well, that was a long, hard day, but well worth the work. Thanks a lot for following us. Subscribe, leave your comments. We love those, and we will see you next week.